Hello everyone and welcome to the Coaches Cup Championship game as the Sterling Lady Knights take on the Eastern Vikings. Sterling coming in at 15-0-2, Eastern 16-1-2 in a historic night here for the Lady Knights as we approach game time, just 7 minutes 40 seconds away. And the energy here unmatched, unlike anything we've seen so far this season. Sterling alumni, teachers, and of course the super fans coming out to show their support here at DeKalb Fields in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Just an atmosphere that we have not seen at all this year, guys.
No, it's a phenomenal turnout. We have teachers, alumni, super fans, as you were pointing out, Brian, a ton of parents, a bunch of staff and faculty members. It's really been a great showing for this girls' soccer team.
Yeah, and as you can see over there's a few costumes. If you look over here, I'm wearing a costume as well, and it's a great turnout. I mean, everyone's really ready. This is, as Brian said earlier, this is a big historic moment for the Lady Knights. They've never won the finals of the Coaches Cup before, so this is a big moment for Coach K and his girls.
Yeah, Dan, you're right. This team, in their history, has never even gotten to this point. They have never been to the Coaches Cup Championship. But not only getting here for the first time, the big task is them trying to win it for the first time in their franchise's history, as well as go undefeated in the regular season for the first time in their history. They have not done so. As we look at these games' stats, again, Sterling coming in at 15-0-2. They're 8-0-2 on the road, as well as Eastern coming in at 16-1-2, 5-1-1 in the division. And also the weather here, 60 degrees, partly cloudy skies. The wind is coming in, so that will play a big factor here in this one today. And we're just glad you're here with us as we're here showing our support for these Lady Knights. About 6 minutes to go until game time, but we have to talk about some of these players that have led these Sterling Lady Knights to this point. First, I want to address Montgomery Dram. 14 goals, 6 assists, and 34 points on the year. Just one of the best players we've seen on this Sterling roster up to this point.
Yeah, she's done a phenomenal job of really just finding the back of the net. And when we talked with Coach K, he said that he has about 3 girls that he can go to be a striker up the middle of the field, 3 girls that he has confidence in that can put the ball in the back of the net and find a way to score, in Montgomery Dram being one of them, the others being Antonia Trillo and Ireland Kay. All 3 of them have had phenomenal seasons and really coming to their own here for the Lady Knights.
And I do want to highlight Tony Troilo with 16 goals, 7 assists, and 39 points this season. Last year, she wasn't as big as a problem. Bridget Dixon filled in her hole pretty well. But this year, she stepped into her own and really has made her presence on this Lady Knights roster and has done a great job doing it.
But we're talking about the big story is Bridget Dixon. She was not on this team this year, obviously battling that ACL tear. And we were wondering, the big question was, how would this team do without their biggest playmaker from last year? And they've proven to us that even though she is an extremely talented player, a 3-sport athlete, Sterling seems to be just doing pretty much fine.
Yeah, they've done a phenomenal job of really just kind of the next player up mentality, where when Dan talked about Tony Trillo, wasn't really that much of an impact player last year in her sophomore season, but she's had a breakout year in her junior season because of the ability and the playing time that she's getting due to that injury. And I think that when we talked to Coach K on the Coach's Corner show, I know that happened a while ago, but he talked about how if Bridget was still in play, it would be tough for some of these girls to develop. And next year, with no Bridget, they're going to have the same three girls that can be dominant and goal scorers, and that's a really positive thing for this team.
Yeah, but we also have to talk about some of these playmakers for Eastern because they're obviously having a terrific season, 16-1-2 on the year. You take a look at Aubrey Benfield, who leads the team in goals, actually is tied with Joanna Gonter, both with 11 goals. Benfield, 11 goals, 2 assists, 24 points, and Gonter, 11 goals, 3 assists, 25 points. So 2 playmakers there for Eastern that we'll have to take a close eye on, and we're almost ready for some game time. The Coaches Cup Championship game is only 3 minutes and 10 seconds or so away. Guys, I'm very excited for this matchup.
I'm very excited, and it's going to be a great game. Two very talented teams in between Sterling and Eastern. Eastern's had a tremendous season, coming in at 16-1-2, and being a Group 4 school, they play a lot of tough teams.
Just leave this here. State rule, you can't.
But we also got to look at the history between these two teams. Eastern has dominated Sterling. I mean, they've only played twice within the past 3 years. Eastern 1-0-1 against against this team very recently. So again, Eastern dominating it historically within the past couple of years, but Sterling going to have to answer back. And also Sterling looking to stay undefeated on the year, something they've never done in their girls' soccer history.
Yeah, not only, we were talking about it earlier, Brian, they had never made it to a Coaches Cup final. That's another event in history. It would be history if they were able to come out of this game victorious, their first ever Coaches Cup final win, and the first time in Sterling girls soccer history that they would finish a regular season undefeated. Obviously, a lot of important milestones that can be achieved here today for the Lady Knights.
Yeah, but also a lot of added pressure. I mean, you're not on your home field. You're on a turf field that is definitely different from the normal natural grass field that they were used to playing on for a decent amount of the season. They did have a couple games under the lights on the turf, so they are at least used to that a little bit. But again, they're not on their home field. They have the extra pressure of having all this support. They have the super fans showing out, alumni, teachers, staff members here, and also a good amount of the Eastern fans showing their support as well. So a lot of added pressure, I'd say, for both sides, but especially for these Lady Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about things that are going to be affecting both teams, and one thing we talked about when you went over the weather is the wind. The wind is really coming in and might alter the ball flight on a couple of these shots. We'll have to see how that messes with a couple shots on goal.
Yeah, that is definitely going to play a big factor here tonight. Just 1 minute away from game time as these star players for both sides get ready to take the turf field tonight. Obviously, Maddie Sims having a terrific season in net for the Lady Knights. She has just been super talented and has been a game saver all year. I mean, she has been absolutely tremendous. Obviously, a bunch of other playmakers for the Lady Knights. Jordan Baker coming back after the injury she faced last year. She's coming back and having a good year. Obviously, Montgomery Dram, Ireland Kay, Erin Quinn, Elise Simpson, and much more. Tony Troilo, Shay Wiley, all of them and much more uniting this united group of girls soccer players who are ready to take this Coaches Cup championship. Again, something they've never done in franchise history. And this is the final regular season game that will count towards the record before they enter the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think that the one thing that you mentioned when you were naming all those different players is how much better each one of those players has gotten from last season to this season. You talk about a player like Montgomery Dram, who as a freshman was obviously talented, one of the better scorers on that team last year, has really found her own in this sophomore season. We talked about Tony Trillo and the strides that she has made, and even we mentioned Jordan Baker. Obviously, the strides that some of the other girls have made is very impressive, but Jordan Baker coming off a really tough injury, coming back and being an impact player for this team is something that kind of flies under the radar, but obviously a lot of progression from the girls. Whether it's their senior season or their sophomore season, they've progressed.
But coming up next for Sterling Falls Sports, the playoffs are getting underway for both boys and girls. Next Wednesday, we'll start the boys soccer playoff season. They'll host their first playoff game at 4 o'clock at Sterling. And next Thursday, the Lady Knights will host their first playoff game. I believe both games are starting around 4 o'clock. We also have a football game against Maple Shade next Thursday at 7 p.m. That'll be the final game of that season. It does not count towards their regular season record, but it is in there as an extra add-on for their schedule. So captains meeting at around the midfield mark on the far side as we are about ready to get underway here in this first half. I'm Brian McLernan, joined by Dan Leakin and Jake Clark. Glad you're with us. Connor Strauss will come in on the second half as well. It's going to be a fun one, and we're glad you guys could be a part of it.
So we're just about ready to get underway. You see the captains there meeting in midfield, and now that that breaks the Sterling captains this season. I believe they've been the same captains, or the same group has been together since that sophomore year. It's been Jordan Baker, Bridget Dixon, Aaron Quinn, and Shay Wiley that are the captains for the Lady Knights.
Sterling will take the field first. And I'm sure you can hear the wind starting to pick up as we approach game time. Sterling takes their huddle. They're in their all-white jerseys. Maddie Sims in her all-black. Now just waiting for the Eastern Vikings to take the field as they're in their huddle near their bench. And Dan, I'm liking your pickle costume over here.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, after I knew the theme was white, but I saw a few people with some funny costumes, and I had this for Halloween last year, so I thought, why not bring it back out? I mean, we're nearing the season anyway, but I'm very excited for this game.
You got a nice combo. You got the pickle costume, you got the white out around your eyes and underneath near your nose, and you got Jules Mesa's heart glasses. So
yeah, I'm very excited. I wanted to get dripped out for this game. This is a big game for not only the Lady Knights, but for Sterling as a whole. This has been a really historic season for the team, and this team, I don't know if you guys have mentioned it already, I was doing something, but this team has gone through a lot of diversity the past 2 games to get where they are right now. Both games were won in the last couple minutes, so this team will not lose without putting up a good fight, and I'm really excited to see what they could do against this insanely talented Eastern team.
Yeah, they got here with diversity not on their side. They were down 2-0 entering the second half of that Ocean City game, but they were able to come back and win it 3-2 without even having to go to overtime. So that's pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, and in the game before that, to even get to Ocean City, when they were in Kingsway, they were down 1 going into half. They tied it back up in the start of the half, and then with 10 minutes left, Kingsway scored, and then the Knights, without going into overtime, put up 2 goals in the last 5 minutes. So this team will not go down without making it challenging.
So here we go. The Coaches Cup Championship game is underway as that one is cleared away out towards the near corner. We'll get an early throw in here for Eastern. Quick throw in, nice and powerful. Goes off the foot of Simpson, kicks it away. That's when skied away and out of play by Morgan Sims, the senior. Quick throw in here for Mariah Spector. Launches it. Eastern gets ahead on it. Ireland K was charging. That one's skied up. Out for Montgomery Dram. Gets ahead on it. Finds Troilo. Played nice defensively by Eastern. They'll send it downfield for Lily Burt. Makes a nice move, but eventually goes out of play, working against Cami Revatus.
And something I do want to mention here, speaking of Cami Revatus, she didn't start the last couple games for Sterling, but Coach K decides to give her the start against Eastern.
Revatus with the throw in there on the far side. Goes off the head of Maddie Whalen. Chance here for Troilo early, but that one cleared away, goes out of play. It was cleared out of bounds by Remy Shirkus.
And that was a nice job trying to get the ball up to Trillo on the sideline. Just well played there by the Eastern defense.
First whistle of this one will go against Sterling, so free kick here for the Eastern Vikings.
Superfans not too happy with that one. We can hear them from all the way over here.
Yeah, they're a loud bunch.
Not only a loud bunch, but a large bunch. There's a ton of super fans out here tonight.
Yeah, led by the one and only Italian sound, Anthony Mutri.
So that one cleared out of play. Just over 2 minutes into this Coaches Cup Championship game. Again, if you're just joining us, Sterling coming in at 15-0-2, Eastern at 16-1-2. Here's Jordan Baker, crosser over the middle. Can't connect it with anyone, and we'll get a whistle inside the 18. Looks to be against Wiley.
Yeah, and right now Shea Wiley trying to plead her case with the official, but it looks like nothing's doing there. I'm kind of just as surprised as Shea that one went against her.
Booted away by Shirkus out towards midfield. Baker with some space. Finds Dram out toward the middle. Dram working against a few defenders and finds Wiley. Nice pass. Threads the needle for Kay. Kay with a shot and scooped up fairly easily by Abanye.
And that's a positive possession right there for the Lady Knights. They did a nice job of finding small, tight passing lanes, and they got the ball to their teammates. And a shot from Ireland Kay from far out with a nice save by the keeper.
And to start that whole offensive possession, and someone, I don't know if you guys, she doesn't pop up on the stat sheet much, but she's a big impact for this Sterling team, is Morgan Sims. Her center defensive mid, she does super well at what she does, and that's work the middle of the field and make sure that things don't get towards Elise Simpson and Maddie Sims. She does a really good job of starting the momentum up for the offense.
Morgan Sims with 2 goals on the season coming into this one. That one sent upfield, goes off the head of Erin Quinn, takes a bounce. And another whistle.
Yeah, just looked like they got a little too physical there in the middle of the field, and the official had to step in with the foul.
Mr. Carpenter right behind us was not very happy with that one.
Free kick here for Eastern. On a line drive, takes a couple bounces, goes off the foot of Quinn. Bounced around. Troilo kicks it, but then booted away. Sims sends it up for Troilo. Troilo working against a few defenders. Dram gets it by her. Some nice movement here by this Eastern offense.
Yeah, and that was well played there in the middle of the field by the Vikings.
And cleared away by Erin Quinn.
And those are 2 former teammates going up against each other there, Cami Ravadis and Lily Burt. Lily Burt used to come play at Sterling, so it's pretty cool to see that matchup on the far side.
So throw in on the far side for Eastern. Takes a bounce, goes out of play. So we'll get a corner kick.
And Eastern now with the set piece here early in this first half, a good opportunity for them to score. Let's see how Sterling defends it here.
Corner kick for the Eastern Vikings. That one booted on a line. A nice job by Sterling to get ahead on it. Here's a shot. Sent away by Wiley.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, there's Morgan Sims being the defensive center mid there for the Sterling Knights, making a great play on that corner kick. Great job from Morgan Sims there.
Yeah, she was the first one of the ball. Nice clear by Sims. And a nice job of Montgomery Dram to just clear that one away to the sideline.
That one skied up in the air off the head of Troilo. Now here's Dram, who plays it on a bounce. She's now got some space, who sends it up to Baker. Baker working on the far side, boots it up for Troilo, and that one just flies out of play.
Yeah, and we haven't seen many so far, but I think a big thing as we get deeper into this game and the players get a little bit more tired is for Sterling, they got to watch the turnovers a little bit. Sometimes in the other games, they get a little sloppy with the ball, and they just give it right to Eastern. But I think that if Sterling can control the ball a little bit more, and their passing has been phenomenal so far in this game, they can really work with something there and try and get some offensive possession.
So it was a quick throw in there for Eastern and another whistle. That one on Tony Troilo, not too happy about it. And we've seen a lot of that so far within these first 6 or 7 minutes.
Yeah, Sterling's coming out playing physical, and I believe they have about 4 fouls on them to this point. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but 4 fouls to this point, giving Eastern a lot of opportunities to send the ball into the box.
A nice boot. Takes a bounce. Here's a shot and goes right into the arms of Sims. First save for her tonight.
And Maddie Sims does a really remarkable job in net for the Lady Knights. I mean, she's pretty solid in net. She's really smart when it comes off her line, and she's really smart when to punch it away. And that was a really good save there for her, one of her first tests this game.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal shot inside, very close, and a nice job by Maddie Sims to just catch that one right in the gut and making her first save of the night.
Bonu scoops it up easily. She'll switch fields. That one booted away. Out around midfield. Wiley juggles. Finally takes a bounce on the turf. Sent up for Sims and will go out of play. Sims was looking for Wiley down this near sideline. It'll be a throw in here for Casey Eustace. Takes a couple bounces. Goes off the foot of Wayland, skied high. Simpson looking for it, plays it on one bounce. Bounced around and goes out of play, out towards the Eastern fans.
And that was a good touch right there by Elise Simpson, just getting that one out and clear to the sideline.
So a throw in here for the Vikings. It's Mariah Spector. Nice throw in, takes a bounce, goes off the head of Quinn. Juggled around, trying to clear it, and Elise Simpson slides in and does so.
Eastern getting a lot of pressure on the Lady Knights so far, and I think that's a really good thing to start off this game with because they're a really good defense, and Maddie Sims is a really, really solid goalie, but Eastern getting this pressure early is going to set the tone a little bit more for the game.
Yeah, and the clock showing 31 now. Time of possession has really been dominated by Eastern. They've had a lot more offensive opportunities. Sterling only had really that one run down the field, so hopefully that changes for the Lady Knights.
Aubrey Benfield with the corner from the far side. Boots it on a line. Takes a bounce and will go out of play. Goes off the head of Remy Shirkus.
Let's go, White! You gotta go to work!
Yeah, and that was a really nice corner to the far post. Just Remy Shirkus couldn't get all of it. Got a weird angle on her header, but that was a really nice corner to the far side.
Booted away by Elise Simpson out towards midfield. Takes a bounce, finds Dram. Dram trying to send it up for Kay. And a collision there. Nothing called on it. Another one. Eastern still remaining with possession. Sent out towards the midfield. Trying to clear it away. Simpson does. Takes an awkward fall at the end. And we'll get a whistle, and she's still down.
Yeah, and game's starting to get a little physical here. I mean, both teams wanted it a lot, and it's setting the tone for how the game's going to go for a little bit. I think both teams are starting to get super physical with each other. As we saw it on the far side with Cameron Rivetis and Lily Burton there in the box.
Yeah, Dan, I was shocked in the middle of the field that there was no penalty because there were two very, very physical plays between both teams, and the officials have been quick to call that tonight, but they let them play it out in the middle of the field.
So Simpson seems to be okay. She'll raise her right arm as she's ready to boot it away. Line drive boot, gets past midfield, takes a bounce. She's looking downfield for Troilo. And Troilo can't corral it. Sent upfield by the Eastern defense. Goes off the head of Simpson. Open field here for Rourke. Working against Simpson, tries to get a shot, but can't get enough as the Sterling defense collapses in on her.
And Rourke has done a really good job of working the outside against Elise Simpson. Elise Simpson's a very, very fast player, but Rourke has done a great job of trying to beat her to the ball and trying to get around her to get a nice shot.
Well, and right now, Dan, it looks like Sterling is struggling to control the midfield. They've had a couple goal kicks that have sent it into the midfield, but Eastern has done a nice job of taking the ball right away.
Here's a corner that gets on a line and will just be sent right back out.
And well, because of all these corners, Sterling's midfielders are stuck in the defensive zone and don't have time to get back on offense because it's really just been a goal kick straight to the other team, or straight to Eastern, and they've just come up. So I think Sterling needs to have some time to set themselves to go on offense and the midfielders to get back.
Corner kick takes a bounce. Looks like it went off the head of Kay. Eastern still with possession. Here's a shot that is juggled around. Sterling just trying to clear it, skies it up in the air. Here's Rourke with it. Rourke with a shot, and a nice job by Sims to get there. Takes a stab at it and rolls it right out to Baker. Baker with a pass that gets intercepted, but Baker gets it back. Sends it up for Ireland Kay. Working with it on the far side and kicked out of bounds into the Eastern bench.
And that was a very important save for Maddie Sims right there. Defense seemed to collapse a little bit, and Eastern looked like they had a very nice chance, and Maddie Sims took that chance right away. Nice save from the keeper.
Throw in here for Baker. She finds Rivetis. Rivetis with some space. Sends it upfield. That pass kicked away by Maddie Jacobs. Takes a couple bounces. Baker trying to send it up for Troilo. Gets kicked away downfield. Goes out of play. It'll be a Sterling throw-in.
This is one of the first times that Sterling is really trying to work something in the midfield here. They've done a good job of trying to keep pushing it up and pushing it up. But Eastern defense has done a good job of clearing it every time and stopping Tony Troilo from advancing anymore.
Simpson had some space. Now here's Revetis, boots it upfield. And Troilo is pretty much alone for that Sterling offense as Abani scoops it up without any pressure.
Yeah, and the balls that Sterling sends into the box, there's been no one home to really get the ball. And you see that punt took a bit of a wobbly turn there because of the wind here tonight. That's definitely going to play a factor.
That one skied away. A great pass. Takes an Eastern bounce. Here's Rourke working with it. She keeps it in play, but then eventually is kicked out.
Elise doing a great job there, Elise Simpson doing a great job there of containing Rourke. Rourke showing her really blazing speed as we saw. I mean, she's gotten from midfield all the way up there pretty fast. And Elise Simpson's done a really, really nice job being the elite defender that she is and containing Rourke as much as she can.
Well, and Rourke seems to have it burst down this near sideline, and Elise Simpson's done a nice job to just contain that speed and try and force it to the outside.
Yeah, Rourke, a really strong playmaker for Eastern. 7 goals, 3 assists, 17 points on the year coming in. That one booted away. Pass that was a bit too hard, goes off the knee of Elise Simpson and skied away. And Jake, you're right. Eastern seems to be dominating their time of possession, getting a lot of offensive chances downfield. And we see another whistle here that will go against the Knights.
And I'm not exactly sure where the contact came from, but obviously the official in the middle of the field has a much better view than we do here standing at the table.
We're looking at 2 substitutions coming in here for Eastern pretty soon. The first substitutions of the game for either team.
Booted around. And a scoop up by Maddie Sims.
And another dangerous free kick that lands in the box. Maddie Sims has done a really good job of just collecting the ball and making the easy play, not coming off her line too early. She's done a really good job for the Knights.
Yeah, and when the ball gets juggled around like that, especially inside the 6, it makes it tough on the keeper.
Chance here for Troilo, and it's cleared away. And it's going the other way. Superfans don't like it. A lot of people on this sideline right next to us don't like it.
A lot of people on the other sideline don't like it, including Coach K, standing right next to Mr. K.
And I'm just trying to keep a count in my head at this point. I've counted 6 fouls against the Lady Knights, and I have about 3 that I wasn't really sure where the contact came from, and 1 against Eastern. So obviously Sterling has been playing a more physical game, and the officials have been calling them on it.
So here's Dram trying to find some space, finds Baker. Baker working with it against a few defenders. She stays with it for now, but will pass it to the Eastern defense, who clears it away.
Eastern has done a really good job of making sure that Sterling hasn't been able to formulate any plays. And what they're really good at is what they know. And that's when they make a play and figure something out and not just do it off the top of their heads. But Eastern has done a really good job of shutting any opportunity that Sterling has had down.
Let's go, White! Let's go!
So here's Sims, who gets ready to boot it away. Takes a bounce, looking for Troilo. It gets by. Troilo with space, but then cleared away. And Baker will let it bounce out.
And Eastern's defenders seem very disciplined. They seem to stay back when Tony Trillo tries to make a run up the field, and they've done a nice job of having all 3 defenders back there to stop just Tony Trillo being the striker.
So here's Simpson with it, just trying to clear it. She sends it up toward the near side for Wiley.
And what a way to find Wiley on the side there.
Wiley was looking for Dram, and a nice clear by Eustace as it eventually goes out. It'll be a Sterling throw-in.
And that was a dangerous play on the Sterling defensive side of the zone there, but that was a really nice play by Elise Simpson in order to make sure that there wasn't any opportunity going towards Maddie Sims.
Cleared away by the Eastern defense. Goes off the head of Revetis. Sent up, nice interception by Simpson. Chance here for Eastern offensively. Here's a shot and a nice diving save by Maddie Sims. And she has been terrific to start this night.
And it looks like it's going to come down to great goalkeeping here for the Lady Knights. And Maddie Sims has done a phenomenal job of keeping the Lady Knights in this game.
And great goalkeeping is what they have, as Jake just said. I mean, she's always been really solid. Last year in her freshman season, she was really good. And this year in her sophomore season, she's even better. She's doing a great job.
Here's a burst of speed. And Gonter can't keep it in. It goes out.
And this close side towards us right now is going to be the real question. I mean, Elise has gone against some really, really fast players in Rourke and Gunter, so it's going to be very interesting to see what she does during this game.
But Simpson's done a nice job of trying to force them to the outside, and it's unfortunately led to Eastern throw-ins and corner kicks, and Sterling's done a nice job of defending those set pieces.
So Lily Burt raises the right arm. She's got the corner kick. Bounces around as it's swatted away by Sims. Eastern trying to stay with possession. Pass toward the outside, and Troilo's got space. Troilo working against the defender. Pass back. A pass toward the middle. Montgomery Dram now finds Wiley. Here's Dram. Dram gets by a few defenders. Pass up the field. Here's a chance, and a nice diving play by Abani saves a goal. And she's slow to get up. She took a nasty fall as this Eastern defense will gather around her to make sure she's okay.
And that was just one of those situations where Tony Troilo was collapsing on the ball. And Areba Abenye was just there at the same time in the collision, and that was just unfortunate. I'm glad to see that she's up and okay.
You're right, Dan. Glad to see she's okay. Referee will make sure that she is able to perform her usual things as a goalie.
But that was one of the first drives that Sterling's really had going up the field. We saw some really good passing in the midfield, finally getting some momentum going up. Really nice job on the far side with Kami Ruvaidis, and in the middle with Ireland Kay passing it all the way over to Shea Wiley. That was a really impressive sequence from the Lady Knights.
Yeah, I thought it was really impressive how they worked from the far side of the field, found space to Shea Wiley on the near side of the field, and then worked it back into the middle to try and create a scoring opportunity. But the keeper was there with the save.
And a lot of contact by this Eastern defense. Sideline wondering why it's not called.
Some unhappy folks to the right of us here with some of the calls so far.
Montgomery Dram trying to keep the pressure on Abani. She will sky it away.
Well, and the Sterling fans have a reason to be a little frustrated with the official when they're calling contact fouls against the Lady Knights but not against the Eastern Vikings. It leads the Sterling fans wondering where the foul is.
That one sent up. Eastern with some space. Goes off the waist there of Simpson, now skied away. And it goes out of play, went off the foot of Morgan Sims.
And as I mentioned earlier, some of the things we've been seeing in the midfield a little bit here is we're getting a couple substitutions for both teams in here. Sterling has been turning the ball over quite a few times in the middle of the infield. They kind of, the midfield. They have to limit that a little bit and see if they can start getting some offensive pressure.
That one booted nicely, goes off the foot of Ruvaidis. Takes a bounce. Kay sends it up towards midfield, was looking for Troilo. Skied out towards this near sideline. Takes a bounce. Eastern with a cross toward the middle. Sterling just trying to clear it away. That one skied upfield and will go toward the Eastern sideline.
And if you're wondering who those substitutions were, it was number 15, Chloe Chestnut. You'll see her on defense. And it was number 20, Adriana Zazada.
More than halfway into this first half here in the Coaches Cup Championship game, still scoreless, just over 19 minutes. Glad you're with us here on Channel 19. I'm Brian McLernan, joined by Jake Clark, Dan Leakin, and we'll eventually be also joined by Connor Strauss. Eastern trying to corral it and get a good shot on it. And a great job by Sterling's defense to create some pressure, and will eventually go out of play.
And the thing that is most concerning to me, Dan, is the amount of time of possession that Eastern has in that offensive zone and the amount of shots on goal that they're getting. The more pressure they apply on the Sterling defense and Maddie Sims, the more opportunity they have to score and find the back of the net.
Yeah, but on the contrary, Sterling's defense has done a super good job of limiting, the amount of shots that Maddie Sims is facing. The only way to get a goal is to shoot. And if they can limit the shots to outside the box, it's a little less dangerous for them and to contain Eastern offense.
Wiley skies it up. Here's Kay with it, out towards midfield. Sends it up for Dram. And Dram can't corral it. It's taken away by this Eastern defense. Now here's Rourke. Sends it upfield for Gonter. That eventually goes out of play as the pass was too strong.
And as I said earlier, that's an example of a turnover there that could have been costly for the Lady Knights. I mean, you're trying to get some offensive pressure and then you lose it, trying to do a little too much. I think they got to just make the easy play, the simple pass, and try and send it back over here.
Well, I also think that Eastern's defense has done a really nice job of staying disciplined and finding a way to apply pressure that's forcing these Lady Knight turnovers in the middle of the field.
Throw in here from Revatus on that far side. Finds Dram. Takes a couple bounces. Skied out towards the 18. Quinn and Chestnut staying with it. Eastern with a cross toward the middle. Here's a shot. A nice line drive, and Sims will come in and scoop it up.
And Maddie is right. I mean, she's done a great job of just coming off her line and collecting the ball. That's another good example of that right there.
So Eastern right back with possession. It's number 18, Mariah Spector with it, sends it upfield, and Sims scoops it up once again.
And obviously got to be frustrating with the turnovers in the middle of the field, but all it takes for this Sterling offense that has been so dynamic with a lot of different goal scorers throughout the season, all it takes is one good run.
That one's skied up, looking for Troilo. Wiley will cut back to it. Now Sterling working with it on the far side. Sent up for Dram. Maybe a bit too hard. Still stays in play. Tripped up, still nothing called.
That was some good hustle from Adriana Zazada right there.
Quinn plays it. Sends it up for Wiley. Wiley working against two defenders, just passes it back to Simpson. Simpson boots it upfield. Was trying to look for Troilo, but the wind kind of took it toward the middle. Revatus gets ahead on it. And eventually goes out of play. Eastern will bring in a couple substitutions.
I'm gonna have to take these hard sunglasses off soon because normally I'm the substitution guy, but I can't see anyone who just came on the field.
I mean, we don't have a monitor here. We're using our away broadcast setup, so we'll cut you a bit of slack, Dan.
Normally that's my thing, man. Like I'm normally pretty spot on with those, and normally when we're home, we're right next to the benches, so I can read the numbers real quick and make the statement. But I don't know who's coming on for any team.
So that one skied out of play will go near another soccer match's field.
It's been pretty loud over there. I mean, I think it's a 1-1 game between both teams right now. I've been kind of keeping track of who's been celebrating, but it's been pretty intense.
Yeah, I've kind of noticed that as well, and energy also unmatched over there like it is here. I mean, right now a little quiet, but I'm sure once a goal is scored in this one, we'll see this place start to wake up a little bit.
And guys, I'm wondering if that game in the distance that we're looking at is the boys Coaches Cup final. It looks like I saw a couple Clearview fans here in attendance and even a Clearview bus. So I think that Clearview is up there. I'm not sure who the team in blue is.
Here's a throw in. Takes a couple bounces. Sterling just looking for a clear. It goes out.
In the dark corner over there, that was a really nice work there from Cami Revatus on Lily Burt. That's been a good matchup since the start of the game so far.
And Mr. K was talking to me before the game about how dark over there that corner can get, and it was something that he struggled with when he was calling the Sterling versus Ocean City game. Takes a couple bounces, it gets by. But Eastern's defense able to get there quickly. Troilo takes a fall, and we'll get a whistle, and it's going to be on Troilo. That's unbelievable.
Be careful not to talk too much to the ref here. As the sideline to my right is not very happy with what the call was.
Troilo visibly upset, but keeping her composure. She disappointedly walks towards the free kick.
And usually here on Channel 19, we try and stay neutral and just call the game as we see it. But as I'm seeing it, I'm not sure.
And here we go. It's a whistle against Eastern, and this sideline is woken up a little bit. Hopefully they don't snooze that alarm. Elise Simpson on a line. Sends it up for Dram. That one cleared away by this Eastern defense. Sent back up, and Dram just misplayed it. Chestnut sends it up for Kay and just kicks it toward the Sterling bench. Throw in here for Eastern on that far side. A little less than 12:40 to go in this first half. Still scoreless. But we've seen a lot of offensive pressure by Eastern here in this first half. Looking to add on to it. That one's sent up, intercepted by this Eastern defense. Now booted away. Gets by Quinn. Excuse me, that's Baker that it gets by. Here's Benfield. Crosser toward the middle. Gets by, and a diving play by Sims.
And these have been some dangerous plays coming into the box. Maddie Sims has done a great job so far. MVP of this first half for sure for the Lady Knights in stopping what Eastern's shot towards her.
Yeah, and there's been a ton of pressure on Maddie Sims, and she has really risen up to the challenge.
That one skied away by Eustace. Sent upfield for Shirkus. Working against a few defenders, takes a fall. Simpson was trying to send it up on a line. Eastern now with a chance. There's a shot that will miss wayward far to the right. Less than 11.5 minutes to go in this first half. Still scoreless if you're just joining us. Sterling looking to go undefeated in the regular season for the first time in their history as a girls soccer program. I mean, they're already making history tonight, playing in the Coaches Cup finals for the first time ever.
Yeah, and that says a lot about this team. They've had a tremendous season and definitely deserve to be here.
And again, as Dan was talking about before this game started, a lot of adversity for these Lady Knights coming in. They had to come back after being down in both games leading up to this one. We'll see what happens in this one. Still scoreless, and we'll get a whistle, and it'll go against Eastern.
And there's a little bit of commotion on the other side. Looked like another goal scored by one of the teams. I think it's a 2-1 game. More importantly here, and I did say that earlier, I mean, the Sterling team has faced a lot of adversity, but I don't think there's a more deserving team in the past 2 years of me being here that deserves to be in this situation. I mean, they played some great soccer.
Trillo working tough with it, finds Baker. Baker with some pressure, makes a nice move. Baker, crosser toward the middle, a bit too hard. Troilo gets a foot on it, but cleared away by this Eastern defensive line, who has not felt too much pressure so far today. That one gets by, looking for Rourke. Quinn will send it towards our camera. Ben, look out.
Ben did not make the play, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, still not as bad as Strauss's drop.
As he stands behind us.
Eastern looking to pick up the pressure, and that shot way too high as it hits the Cherry Hill FC soccer sign.
As we're getting some substitutions for the Lady Knights, it looks like Maddie Whalen and Shay Wiley coming in here for the Lady Knights.
Going to be a kick here for Simpson. 9:17 to go in this first half. Simpson with a boot towards this near side. Takes an Eastern bounce. Some speed by Shirka. No, excuse me, that is Rourke. Eastern with a left-footed shot, skied up in the air, and Sims comes in on it.
And Maddie Sims has done a phenomenal job with a ton of pressure from this Eastern offense. She's done a nice job of stopping that attack and keeping the 0 up on the scoreboard.
And another whistle here. It will go against Eastern. They don't like it. But now Sterling here with a chance. Favorable field position.
And here's what Sterling is really good at. We're going to get one of these free kick, set piece corner kicks. This is what they practice. This is what they preach a lot. And this is how they get a lot of their goals. Ireland Kay is really good at putting this where she wants it. This is a good opportunity for the Lady Knights, one of the first of the half.
So Ireland Kay ready. A little over 8 minutes to go here in the first half. Raises the right arm. Boots it on a line with her left foot. Goes off the foot of Troilo. Bounces around. Wiley still with it. Working against a few defenders. Gets a shot. And a nice diving save by Abanyi. Good offensive pressure by the Lady Knights. One of the first times we've seen it so far in this first half.
And you said it right there. Good offensive pressure. That is something the Lady Knights desperately needed. Take a little bit of pressure off the defense and put a little pressure on that keeper for Eastern.
Dram tried to send it up, and a whistle that will go against Troilo.
And any bit of physicality here for the Lady Knights, and for both teams, is getting called here. So I think that'll cause Sterling and Eastern to change their game plans just a little bit, because you can see every bit of physicality getting called here.
Well, from opening kick, it's been a physical game between the two teams, and the official has made it known that he's going to call a foul when he sees it fit, and has done so quite a few times for both sides.
Here's Dram with it, able to find Wiley, who boots it away nicely. Sends it up for Troilo. Troilo working with it on this sideline. Moves toward the corner near the super fans. Pass back towards Wiley, goes out of play. Couple subs coming in, a 4-man substitution for Eastern.
And for the first 30 minutes of this half, it's really been Eastern dominant, and now we're seeing Sterling's offense come to life here with less than 6:30 on the clock.
And the super fans really getting in the grill over there. That is Casey Eustace. They are really shouting in her ear right now. This is pretty funny to watch from over here.
So far looks unbothered by it. We'll see how it
impacts the throw.
Yeah, we'll see.
Some stoppage on the field. Not sure what's going on.
Part of me really wants to know and also does not want to know what they're saying over there.
Looks like Eastern's making a late substitution, and that is what the official was waiting for.
As here it goes. The super fans increasingly getting louder.
Play will resume. Goes off the head of Wiley. Here's Dram with it, faces some defensive pressure. Here's Zada. Finds Dram. Dram with a move and gets it taken away. Nice job by Abby Madola.
And what we've seen a little bit from Sterling is they're trying to play a little bit too much against this Eastern defense, and it's clearly not working for them. I think sometimes they just got to make the easy play, the easy pass, and kind of stop playing around with the ball, because that kind of footwork isn't going to work against a super talented Eastern team.
And they look to be trying to make short passes outside of the box. There's now 5:33 left on the clock.
Here's Simpson. Sends it on a line, cut off, but it finds Wiley. Wiley sends it up and sends it to the super fans. It'll be a throw in for Casey Eustace. Eustace with the throw in. Sent upfield, sent it for Benfield. Benfield kicks it up, intercepted by Rivedas. Takes a bounce. Here's a shot and a nice play by Sims. Had to jump for it, but she's able to corral it.
One of her many saves, and she's making the easy play, the simple play, and she's done a really good job in net tonight.
She has to have double-digit saves here in this first half. She's done a tremendous job to keep the Lady Knights in this game with it tied at 0.
That one cleared out and goes to the Boys Coaches Cup sideline. Still a scoreless game if you're just joining us. A little over 4 minutes to go in this first half. working with it on the far corner. Now Sterling going upfield. Here's Kay. Kay getting some pressure. A nice pass up for Dram. Dram with a nice cut towards the middle. Sends it up for Troilo, but intercepted there as Shirkus gets ahead on it. Sterling trying to keep that pressure going, and it will go out of play.
He's working, White. Let's go.
So substitutions for the Lady Knights as Shirkus gets ready to kick it away.
And within these past couple of minutes, Sterling's offense has really woken up and had a couple runs towards the net, putting pressure on that Eastern defensive front.
Let's go.
Booted nicely out towards midfield. Here's Wiley trying to send it up, can't find anyone. Quinn plays it. Now loses it for a moment. Sends it up toward the far side. Dram able to get it quickly to Baker. Back to Dram with a nice pass in stride. Dram with a nice move, wow. Trying to cross fields for Wiley. Wiley with pressure coming in. Trying to send it up. And nothing for Dram, but now Wiley comes in as a defender working with her. Nice move there. Sends it for Dram. Back to Wiley. Crosser toward the middle, a bit too hard for Troilo. Troilo can't really do much with it. A nice header by Sims. Sims plays it back, trying to motion Simpson upfield. And that one cleared away as Simpson takes a fall. It will go out.
And that was a phenomenal offensive possession there for the Lady Knights. A lot of good passes. That's an encouraging sign to see here late in this first half.
Sims sends it up. 2 minutes remaining here in this first half. Still scoreless.
Was
Glad
that
you're
a
with us.
Rob Strauss reference?
Maybe.
Well, I need to know right meow.
Was that a Rob Strauss reference?
Maybe.
All comes full circle. Sterling still in the offensive zone. Now it's sent upfield. Sterling's got to get back on defense. And just a pass back to Sims, who boots it away. Juggled around. Skied down the field towards the far corner on this near side. Goes out of play.
Well, if someone's getting the extra oranges and juice boxes today, it's going to be Elise Simpson. She's done a great job with a lot of pressure coming towards her on her side, and I'm really impressed with how she's playing.
Is it weird that when I used to play soccer, I would never eat the orange slices?
Why?
I was more of an apple slices type of guy.
I'm also an apple slices type of guy, but I think like it's just like a thing. Like you got to have the Capri Sun in the orange juice or in the orange.
I don't know. I just wasn't an orange slice and Capri Sun kid. And we'll get a whistle that'll go against Eastern.
They got about 30 seconds left here. That's why they're trying to go up tempo.
Boot by Wiley on a line. Just over the head of Dram. 25 seconds. Rourke sends it up. Quinn's got to get back. Crosser toward the middle, shot too hard.
The Cherry Hill FC soccer poster is taking a few couple shots today.
Yeah, quite a beating for the poster there.
Simpson raises the right arm. Boots it away down the field. Goes off the head. And that will conclude this first half. These two high-powered offenses with goose eggs on the scoreboard. We go to the second half here in the Coaches Cup Finals after this. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Coaches Cup Finals. It's the Sterling Lady Knights coming in at 15-0-2, taking on the Eastern Vikings at 16-1-2. It is a scoreless game as we get ready for this second half. I'm Brian McLaren, joined by Jake Clark, and now joined by Connor Strauss.
Hey guys,
How's it going, Strauss?
it's going well.
What have you observed from this game so far?
So I think it's important that Sterling was able to take a tie into halftime. Obviously, they are a very good second half team. They've shown it so far this season. And I think that's very important for them that they were able to get a tie going into halftime. That gives them more time to game plan going into the second half.
Yeah, I do think that it's really important that this game is knotted up at 0. Sterling, not a ton of offensive pressure, but the defense has really played beyond or above par. They've done a very nice job of keeping that Eastern offensive attack out of scoring range. And even when there's been shots on net, Maddie Sims has been right there to scoop it up, make a catch, and she's done a phenomenal job in that first half.
Yeah, Strauss, you were right. The second half is the Lady Knights' specialty. I mean, coming into this Coaches Cup final, I mean, just to get here, Sterling had to battle back from a 2-0 deficit. They won it 3-2 against Ocean City with clutch goals coming in that second half. So, again, this half very big for the Lady Knights as well as the Eastern Vikings. I mean, they're applying a lot of pressure, a matter of time. There's only a matter of time before one of their shots connect, but Maddie Sims doing a great job with her defense in that net as both teams in their huddle, ready to get back onto the field and resume action here in the Coaches Cup Finals. Again, if you're just joining us, this is a very historic night for the Lady Knights. The first time in their history they've ever gotten to this point, the Coaches Cup Championship game. And
Yeah, and Eastern's attack is very difficult to defend because you look at their stats, they don't really have anyone who's a very high goal scorer at all, but they have a lot of consistency on that attack, so everyone is a good goal scorer, and it's super difficult to defend because you can't just single out one player.
Yeah, and watching it in the first half, they have a ton of speed on the outside, and they use that speed to burst and try and get a cross in, but Sterling's done a nice job of just forcing those girls with speed to the outside, getting a throw in and resetting. So just 22 seconds remain of halftime. Both teams are ready to get underway.
had to throw my hood on. It's getting a wee bit chilly out here.
It is.
It's cold out.
It is very cold, and again, we talked about it. Would be a very nice night out, but the wind, it's so open here at this neutral site. It is so open that it is very cold, and it's
Yeah.
even affected a couple punts.
As Mr. K said earlier in our group chat, be ready for chill.
That is correct. But
We came prepared for the chill.
We were ready for chill.
and we're ready for the second half here in the Coaches Cup Championship game.
Let's go, Mott!
Eastern starting with possession. Sends it up. And Maddie Whalen will clear it away. It'll be a quick throw in here for number 10, Aubrey Benfield. Revatus and Baker working with it. They send it up for Dram, working on the near side. Dram will cross it toward the midfield for Troilo. Troilo looking for some space. Able to find Wiley on that far side. Wiley sending it up for Troilo. Troilo working with it on that far sideline. And working in that far corner eventually goes out of play.
And I think that one thing that we didn't really highlight in that first half is when Sterling is making these runs toward the net, it's really just been Tony Trillo up by the ball. They've had a couple times where they applied more pressure, and there were other Lady Knights there for her to pass the ball to. But right now, it looks like in the beginning of this second half, it's going to be a lot like the first half, in which it's Tony Trillo working against 3 Eastern defenders.
Yeah, and if you're Sterling, you want to start sending more strikers up to try and get Tony Troilo some help on that offensive side of the ball. Obviously, Draham, maybe you want to put Draham back so that so we get a chance here, but if Draham stays back and Troilo's able to lure the defenders onto her, it leaves Draham open for a shot, and pretty much anywhere where she's shooting, it's a dangerous attack.
So Quinn plays it on about, sends it upfield. Chance here for the Vikings, gets by, makes a nice move, crosser toward the middle, and Sims will run in on it. Diving on top of it and she's ready to boot it away.
Well, and if we had to give a first half MVP for the Lady Knights, it had to go to Maddie Sims. Double-digit saves in that first half, keeping the score tied at 0.
It was Lily Burt who had a chance at putting that one in the back of the net and giving Eastern a very important 1-0 lead. Whalen trying to send it up for Baker, a bit too strong, but now Dram with it, and that one cleared out of play. No, they're ruling it still in play.
Yeah, I thought for sure that was going out of play. But one thing, obviously the first 2 minutes of this second half weren't as good for Sterling as they were in the semifinals game versus Ocean City. Obviously, they scored in the first 2 minutes. But it's important for Sterling to come out at halftime with an extra spark because you've got two very good goal scorers in Troilo and Draham, and they get a nice break at halftime, so they're playing with a little bit more energy right now. So it's important that you try and capitalize on that.
Nice clear by Kay.
Not only do you have two very good goal scorers in Trillo and Montgomery Dram, you also have a third good goal scorer in Ireland Kay, and she's also a natural facilitator, finds ways to get a lot of assists. Last year she led the team in assists as a sophomore, and this year she's taken on more of a scoring role with the injury to Bridget Dixon.
Yeah, and she has a really powerful leg, especially on the set pieces. She's able to make a throw-in feel like a corner kick and any set piece feel like a goal-scoring opportunity.
So just less than 4 minutes into this second half. Here's Quinn trying to clear it away, does stay in bounds, but eventually Maddie Whalen will come in and kick it out. So it'll be a throw in here for the Vikings on the far sideline. High throw in, takes a bounce. And it will go against Eastern, I believe the first whistle of the second half.
And the head official in the middle of the field has taken a lot of criticism, a lot of fouls being called against both teams.
So it'll be Simpson to boot it away. She's had a very productive night to this point. Raises the right arm and boots it away. Out towards midfield, then moves toward the far side. Troilo now looking for some space, but pressure there and a whistle that'll go against Eastern. It'll go on number 22, Casey Eustace, and a big opportunity here for the Lady Knights.
Yeah, there was a ton of contact there from the Eastern defense, and now Sterling has a set piece here. Let's hope they can capitalize.
Yeah, and if you're Eastern, you're kind of lucky that you didn't get a card there. That was very blatant foul. And I think it could have been a cardable offense, but I think the right call by the officials there.
It'll be Ireland Kay preparing for the kick. This one, a chance to shift this game. Scoreless, a little over 5 minutes into the second half. Kay raises the arm. Whistle is blown. Kick is away. It's a line drive and kicked right away. Goes over Kay's head. Instant pressure by Eastern. Gets it intercepted. Eastern with a chance. Nice clear by Erin Quinn.
Yeah, and Eastern played that perfectly. They sent it right back out and put immediate pressure on the Sterling defense. A nice job by Erin Quinn staying back and clearing it away.
A lot of contact here by this Eastern team.
Yeah, and Eastern's been the more physical team leading up to this point, but they haven't really gotten called for it. So if it's not broke, don't fix it, and it's worked for them so far.
Pull back, kid, let's go!
So Simpson ready to
I didn't even know where you were.
boot this away.
Oh, okay, I'm gone.
Sent towards the bench sideline, and will go out of play. Throw in here for the Lady Knights. Goes off the head of number 22, Casey Eustace. So another throw in as Sterling slowly moves down the field.
And Sterling offensively is taking that momentum that they had at the end of that first half and trying to win the time of possession here to begin the second half.
That one sent upfield. Nice job by Quinn to cut it off. Now being juggled around. Eastern just trying to settle it. Sent upfield. Here's a chance. Sterling just trying to clear, and the shot just misses.
Yeah, and a great play there by Elise Simpson to make sure that they had no angle to get a shot off. Dangerous attempt there from Eastern, but great job by Sterling's defense.
So it looks like Simpson will take the goal kick here. And she had a tremendous first half on the near side of the field, working against the speedy forwards of Eastern.
That one's sent upfield. Simpson will play it, settles it, and boots it away.
And Eastern is offensively trying to find that pressure that they had from the first half, having a couple opportunities in the early second half that we've seen so far.
Here's Rourke trying to play it on a bounce, crosses it toward the middle. Nice job by Revetas to cut it off, skied in the air. Wiley sends it downfield for Troilo, a great pass. Troilo gets it to Kay. It gets by Kay, so now Eastern gets it back. Sends it up for Benfield. Benfield with a pass back. Line drive boot cut off by Quinn. Here's Kay, nice find. Open space here for Dram. Eastern trying to get back on defense. Dram with a burst, makes a nice cut. Crosses fields, finds Baker. Baker with a chance, trying to corral. Here's the shot. And it arcs right into the arms of Abani. A good offensive sequence there by the Lady Knights.
Yeah, great sequence there by the Knights. And if you want to see how strong this Sterling attack is, Eastern had 4 defenders back, and it was only Dram and Troilo on the offense, and they were still able to generate a great opportunity.
One of the big parts of Sterling's offense is the speed that they have with players like Troilo going down the field. And Eastern has done a great job of getting back on defense quick enough to not allow someone like Troilo to just zoom right by them.
Yeah, but I also think it comes down to Sterling's success on the offensive end. Montgomery Dram does a nice job of controlling the middle when Sterling has the ball offensively. She does a nice job of seeing the entire field, making the correct pass, and giving the girls their best opportunity to score.
About 10 minutes into this second half, still scoreless here in this Coaches Cup Championship game. If Sterling is victorious, they will go undefeated for the first time in their history as a girls soccer program. Sent up for Chestnut. Chestnut plays it on a bounce, skies it away. Here's Kay. Nice pass to Troilo, then finds Dram. Dram working against a few defenders, sends it up, and that shot misses to the right. Just a bit off there, but Sterling slowly creeping down the field, creating a couple nice offensive pressures against the goalie Abani.
Yeah, you talk about creating offensive pressures, but Sterling has to try and get a little bit closer. I believe most of their shots in this second half on these runs have come from outside the 18, from very far. Sterling's got to work to try and get in the box and get a better shot.
That ball takes a couple bounces. Kay plays it. That one sent upfield. Troilo trying to play it on a bounce, gets by her. But now Zazada comes in. Zazada with a nice pass to Troilo, gets it taken away. And now Eastern will send it upfield. Rourke with a nice find to Gonter. Cleared away by Aaron Quinn. Nice job, a great pass to Kay. It goes back to Zazada. Zazada sends it up. Troilo, pass back to Kay, and it gets by her. Kay visually frustrated right there, and Eastern with a burst down the far side. Stays in play. Rourke cuts toward the middle. She's got space to work. Quinn trying to clear. Here's Burt. Burt with a shot, and will miss. Jordan Baker creating the pressure.
And that was a great job by Sterling to come back there on defense. That looked like it could have been Eastern's best chance all night. And a nice job by the Lady Knights to come back, set up on defense, and force a goal kick.
Yeah, and on that offensive sequence for Sterling there, I think they missed a wide open Jordan Baker on the close side. And for Sterling, that's just a miscommunication, but you can't have those in games like this. You got to communicate more.
Big chance here for Eastern. It's Mariah Spector across toward the middle. Rourke trying to stay with it, and a nice job by Elise Simpson sliding in and clearing it away to that Sterling bench.
Well, we've been calling Elise Simpson's name all night, and she's done a phenomenal, tremendous job on that side of the field, really forcing the ball to the outside and forcing throw-ins to allow Sterling's defense to reset.
That was one of the best goal-scoring opportunities for Eastern we've seen all night, and Elise Simpson just takes it right away. So right now just waiting for Eastern throw-in. We'll get it. Takes a couple bounces. And a great clear, sends it up. Dram with a nice spin move. Dram with a couple nice cuts, sends it to Cesata on the far side. Cesata working against the defender and will go out of play. It will be a Sterling throw-in. It'll be Elise Simpson with the throw-in.
And in this second half, you're seeing Sterling doing a better job of controlling the middle of the field. And I think that has led to a couple more Sterling chances offensively.
Yeah, and that's the most important part of the field. If you win in the midfield, that generates more chances for your offense, and it leaves your defense to have an easier job and puts less pressure on the goalie. So it's very important that you win the balls in the midfield.
Looks as though the Lady Knights made a substitution. Number 3, Jordan Baker coming off, and number 22, Shea Wiley coming onto the field.
Eastern working with it on that far side, cleared away. So now Eastern with some favorable field position as they look for this offensive set to be successful. Here's the throw in from afar. Takes a bounce. Troilo is trying to work with it. That one's skied up by Eustace. Stays in place, skied up in the air once again. Bounces around. Sims trying to send it up. Now Quinn comes in on it and gets a boot on it. Eustace trying to get back to it. It goes out. Looking for Troilo down the far sideline.
And there's another example of how disciplined the Eastern defense has been tonight. They've stayed back, had at least 3 defenders, this time 4, back when Trillo was trying to make a run.
Eastern working with it on the far side. It's going to go out of play. It'll be a throw-in.
So if you're Sterling, you can't let Eastern get these deep throw-ins. They've obviously got a very good thrower. That was bad. But, yeah, she's been able to get them. It feels like all these throw-ins feel like corner kicks for Eastern. She has a strong arm, and if you're Sterling, you can't let that happen. You have to stop Eastern from getting all these set pieces.
I do enjoy the technical term, the throw-in thrower.
Yeah.
And a nice job by Sims to
I
scoop it up.
I would probably call it the same thing. I'm not.
It was a little bit of, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what
You
to.
just came up with it on the spot. And
Yeah.
I think that was good.
Thank you. I've had better.
I'm not exactly sure what the actual term for the person throwing the ball is. Are they just the
I watch a lot of soccer, and I don't even know.
Are they the throw-in? The throw-in thrower may be correct.
So that one bounced around. Here's Cesata. Sterling trying to keep it in play and goes out.
So now it's back in action here. Eastern sends a ball up. Well played over the middle of the field by Morgan Sims. Eastern with another throw-in.
And Jake, I'm trying to Google it here. I can't really find it. I can't really find the term of.
So maybe you just coined a term here.
I did.
The throw-in thrower.
Get that
Because-
trademarked.
Because we went to Google and there's nothing.
Well, I mean, I only searched for maybe about 6 seconds, so who knows? Back to the Coaches Cup Championship.
That was our little away game trivia question. So if anybody knows it that's watching what the term for the person throwing the ball is besides the thrower,
Please send it in.
Please-
I'm sure
please
some
let
of
us
you
know.
have our contacts. So Sterling with it. Here is Kay working against the defender, able to get some space. Now here's Dram. Dram gets by. Dram with a left-footed shot. It's blocked. Takes a bounce. Troilo plays it. And Kay with a chance and takes a big fall and nothing. No call on that. Ireland Kay visibly upset, as she should be. And that one is sent upfield and eventually cleared away by Aaron Quinn.
well, a huge hit like that is reserved for the gridiron and not the soccer field. And for an official that has been calling contact a foul all night long, for that to go with no call is very shocking.
Yeah, I think that was a call and a little bit of a missed call by the ref, but they have the toughest job. I mean, it's tough to do. It's tough to officiate, so. But I do think that was a foul.
I think that one was missed a little bit.
Yeah.
But that is just my personal opinion.
At the end of the day, none of our opinions matter.
That's correct. He's the one with the whistle.
So sent up for Troilo and eventually cleared away by Rourke.
Let's go, Shay!
Great catch by one of the Eastern fans. Troilo with a pass back to Wiley. Sent up for Troilo. Troilo trying to cross, takes a little collision. Stays in play, takes a tough bounce. Another collision. Wow, it's getting physical here. And that pass a bit too strong for Wiley.
He's getting majorly physical. That's another rough hit there. That one taken by Tony Trillo. And again, a no call. And
Yeah.
that one inside the box.
Yeah, and I think there was no call on that one because it was inside the box. Obviously, in an intense game like this, you don't want to give out a penalty kick unless it's blatantly obvious. So I think that was the right call by the official. I think if that was outside of the box, then it would have been called. But since it was inside the box, it wasn't.
That one's sent up, and it can't stay in play.
And I've just gotten a message from former Channel 19 announcer John Hallwood that says it's just a throwing. There's no special name for it. So Strauss may have just
I
coined
just
a term.
trademarked.
So it'll be a Sterling throw-in.
And a quick change there. Initially an Eastern throw. Now Shea Wiley's going to throw this one in right in front of us here. Sterling makes a substitution. Maddie Whalen into the game.
That one's sent up, cross toward the middle. Booted up towards midfield. Here's Whalen with it. Finds Wiley. Wiley looking for space and cleared away by number 17. That's Grace Francesconi. Wiley with a high flying throw in once again. Able to collect her own and across toward the middle. No one there for Sterling. Now here's Baker trying to find Dram and just couldn't settle it. Quinn flying in. And it'll be a whistle. And now Sterling with a chance. We're more than halfway into the second half. Tensions is definitely rising.
Yeah, and Sterling is very good on these set pieces, so this is a great opportunity for them to get the game go-ahead goal. Sorry, but yeah, Kay obviously very good at kicking these set pieces, and that's where Sterling scored a lot this season.
And that one was wide right, and it looks like the wind played a factor in that kick. It's been a factor for both teams all night long. The wind is whipping here
Yeah.
at this neutral site in Cherry Hill for the Coaches Cup final.
Booted away by Eastern, sent out towards midfield. Takes a bounce, Eastern stays with possession. Sent upfield, chance for Rourke. Cleared away by Quinn. Cross toward the middle. Sims skies it in the air, juggled around. Some contact, nothing called by the official.
And I like the no call there. Both girls just going for the ball, trying to make a play. Nothing too blatant.
Yeah, I think in the final minutes of this second half, you're going to start to see the officials kind of let them play more. Obviously, the intensity is high. Tensions are high, so they're going to get more physical. There's a lot more emotions involved, so it's going to be more physical.
And a chance there for Sims as she scoops it up.
So now here's Trillo.
Trillo working with it. And a whistle that will go against Trillo. She's had a couple whistles against her tonight. And once again, not very pleased about it. She'll try and argue her case, but to no avail.
And again, very physical, and the official is very quick to call the foul.
Eastern trying to remain with possession. Sent upfield for Rourke. Nice job by Quinn to cut it off. Read that pass beautifully. Rourke coming in on the defense. She's got that blazing speed. It goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Baker. And both teams arguing to see where it's going. And it's going to be a throw-in for Eastern.
Yeah, and Erin Quinn's work on the defensive side of the ball kind of gets overshadowed, but it doesn't get talked about much, but she does a great job of really not letting any teams get a really good opportunity. It feels like she's always there cutting off the angles.
And a chance there, and nothing doing for Rourke.
And I did think it was kind of funny with the throw-in call going the other way. The Sterling coaching staff was very frustrated. And they're on the far side of the field. It's tough to tell who that is over there.
So Simpson on a line. Booted around. That one on the line. Cross toward the middle. Eastern with a chance. Had a couple chances here within these last couple minutes. Here's a shot. And easily scooped by Sims. Plays it on a bounce and is ready to boot it away.
Yeah, and Maddie Sims has been phenomenal all night of making sure that there's no rebound opportunity there for Eastern. Feels like any ball that comes her way, she's getting to it. She's done phenomenal all night.
Yeah, you said it, Strauss, just immediately scooping it up when it comes her way, and she's done a nice job of not really having to deflect any shots, but just scooping them right up and punting them away for the Knights.
Here's Troilo working with it. It gets by. And another call on Troilo.
And that one came in very late. That one came in very late from the official. Play was starting to move down the other end of the field, and then he blew the whistle against Toni Trillo, and she was obviously very frustrated and shocked.
But right now,
hands on the head.
But right now, Sterling can't let their emotions get the best of them. This game is tied. They're not trailing it. So nothing to worry about just yet. But Eastern right now with a chance. Booted nicely. Sims trying to come in. It's juggled around. And eventually goes out of play. So Sterling will catch a big break right there after the foul on Troilo.
And a major sigh of relief for the Sterling fans to our right. That ball was batted around and eventually went over the back line and will now result in a goal kick.
Yeah, and the wind is kind of blowing to the right from our angle, or straight ahead from our angle. But that's going to mean that anything that you get going on the far side of the field, it has a better chance of going out. So you're really going to have to try and get your attack going on the close side of the field from the camera.
The wind has picked up significantly in these past couple minutes, and it's starting to play a factor. As you said, Strauss, they're going to have to try and work towards us on the near side of the field because the wind is blowing towards the far side of the field.
So Dram trying to play it along that far side. It goes out of play toward that eastern bench.
So we just got word from another tech crew member who's a soccer player. Mason Tinkham says that the throw-in thrower is the accurate term. So
thank you, Mason. Sterling just trying to clear it. Here's Kay with it, trying to send it up. Nobody there. She was looking for Dram. Simpson plays it off her head. Baker sends it, looking for Troilo. Troilo tries to make a nice move, gets it taken away. Nice job by Francesconi. Sky downfield. Quinn plays it off the head. He gets by her. Nice job by Revatus to get in there.
And that was a great play by Cami Revatus there.
Eastern sending it up. 11.5 to go in this second half. Still a scoreless game. And despite the zeros on the scoreboard, it's been a fun one to watch. A crosser toward the middle. Chance for Eastern. Sterling trying to clear. Here's a shot. Loses it for a moment, but Sims comes up with it. Stays calm, cool, and collected, and scoops it up.
And another phenomenal save there from Sims. She's been great all night. And what you're going to notice in these last 10, 15 minutes is whatever team does have possession of the ball and gets it into the other team's zone, they're going to start to send more people up, which is going to make it difficult for the other team to get anything going. So if Sterling gets a good possession here, they get possession back, they're going to start to send more up, and it's going to be really difficult for Eastern to get the ball back.
Baker finds Sims. Sends it up for Kay. Now here's Baker along the far side, trying to get some space. Sends it up, a nice pass. Troilo with it. Troilo makes a nice move. Crosser finds Kay. Kay with a pass back to Baker. Baker gets by. Crosser toward the middle. Dram with the shot and goes right into the arms of Abani. Has not had a lot of work to do in this later part of the second half.
Yeah, and those shots from Montgomery Dram, every time that she shoots those, from our angle, it looks like it's going 10 feet over the net, but it somehow finds a way to get a shot on goal. And it's really tough to defend as a keeper because it's tough to get a good read on it when it's that high in the air.
Well, and Dram had to take one touch there to just try and put a shot on the net and just got under it a little bit. And the Eastern keeper there had the easy save on what looked to be, as Mr. McPherson calls in volleyball, a free ball just right to the net.
Eastern just waiting to throw it in. Clock stopped with 9:33 to go. Play will resume, and the throw in comes in from Eastern. Looking for Rourke. Wiley was working with her, and it goes out of play.
Smart play by Wiley there.
Throw in goes toward the 18, bounces outside. Here's a long shot, and it will go way over the net.
Yeah, and you can tell that Eastern wants to get this first goal. On that opportunity there, they had everyone above the midfield line besides one defender, so they're really pushing to get that goal.
Well, now under 10 minutes left in this second half, and it seems like whoever scores first is going to win it. Might need overtime to decide this one.
So here's Troilo working with it. Okay, fine, and that'll eventually go out.
Yeah, and if you're Sterling, you don't want this game to go to PKs. Eastern was able to advance to the finals off of PKs. Sterling doesn't really have any PK experience this season. So Eastern is more experienced in PK, so Sterling wants to get that goal and win in regulation or in overtime. They don't want this going to PKs.
A little over 8 minutes to go in this second half of regulation. Troilo with some hustle goes out of play.
And now under the 8-minute mark, both teams are going to get very aggressive, as Strauss has been saying all night. They're going to send up more and more to try and find the back of the net.
Here's Troilo. I mean, no, excuse me, that's Dram. Finds Wiley.
Come on, Shay, let's go.
Sims, line drive shot, cut off. Skied up the field. The wind pulls it back to Kay. Kay gets a head on it, finds Zazada. It gets through. Chance for Troilo. Troilo with a shot. Blocked. Second shot over the net. Oh my goodness. The best chance Sterling has had all night. And on 2 tries, it can't go to the back.
The best chance either team has had all night, and just over the crossbar. A great chance for Trillo, but to no avail.
Yeah, and that kind of caught Eastern off guard. I think Eastern thought that Sterling was offsides on that play, so they kind of let Tony Troilo go through and was able to go. And great opportunity there for Sterling, and you got to keep sending the pressure. You just had the best opportunity all game. You got to keep that pressure up.
So that'll go out of play. Jake, you getting turned to those Superfan chants?
Superfans do have me hype over here in the booth.
They've been really loud all night. I went all the way to the other side to try and get to the concession stand for water before the game. I could hear them. I thought it was the fans, maybe the Clearview fans from the boys game. No, it was the super fans all the way on the other field.
Here's a chance for Eastern. Zazada trying to clear it away. She skies it up. Okay, trying to play with it. Skied up in the air by Chestnut. And it will go out. It'll be an Eastern throw-in. 5:40 to go here in this second half. It's a scoreless game here in the Coaches Cup Championship game. It is definitely cold, but the tension is heating up.
Tensions are definitely rising.
Couldn't have said it better myself, guys.
Kind of wish I added an extra layer or 2. But I can't do anything about that now.
Yeah, I've got a long sleeve shirt on, a hoodie, and a jersey, and I'm still cold.
I think I have 4 layers on top, and I'm still freezing. I have a T-shirt, long sleeve shirt, my Phillies hoodie, and then the Sterling windbreaker to go over top of it all, and it is freezing.
I love this weather, though. I love the cold.
Is that so?
Yeah.
I could use the degrees turned up a couple
notches.
Yeah.
Jinx, you owe me soda.
Oh.
I just told you. That one's sent upfield. Quinn trying to clear it away. Working against a few players. Now here's a shot. And sliding in on it is Madison Sims. She's had one heck of a night defending that goal.
And with the Eastern offensive pressure, Maddie Sims has shut it down every single time. She's done a great job in net.
Yeah, and a great shot from Maddie Sims on that play. That was a really tough ball to get a read on, but just especially because of the wind. But
here's a burst of speed. Here from Montgomery Dram. Here's the shot and misses to the right. Couple close ones within these past few minutes.
Just high and to the right, but this is a good sign for the Sterling offense. They're applying pressure and getting good looks from outside the 18.
yeah, and you can tell how talented of a player Montgomery Dram is. this Sterling sideline, every time that she gets the ball, everyone is on their feet and excited.
Here's Troilo with it, trying to get space. Eastern's defense able to collapse on it quickly. Trying to keep it in play, cannot. It'll be a Sterling throw-in. Quick one for Revatus. Just over 3 minutes to go in this second half. Now Eastern will have the throw-in. Nice throw-in in stride, and Eastern can't keep it in. It'll be another Viking throw-in. Off the foot of Zasada. Crosser toward the middle. Simpson trying to clear it away. Nice find to Ireland K. Sending it out to Burt. Burt toward the corner near the Superfans. Crosser toward the middle, a nice cross. And cleared away, Elise Simpson.
Eastern is able to get a corner out of it, but good job by Elise Simpson there to just kind of get the ball out of danger.
Yeah, good job clearing it out of the middle, but now Eastern has a set piece here. Let's see if the Superfans have an advantage.
Superfans trying to get into the head of Aubrey Benfield, who will do the corner kick for the Eastern Vikings. 1:51 to go in the second half. It is scoreless. Kick is away. On the arc. Bounced around. Benfield with space, trying to cross in, and it's blocked.
Yeah,
and will go out.
I'm sure Benfield kind of wants to kick that from the other side. The Superfans have been ruthless all night to this Eastern team.
Benfield will try it again. Less than a minute and a half remaining on this clock. Good corner. Punched out by Sims. Revatus working with it. It gets by her. Here's a shot and a nice block there. A nice job by Simpson to slide in, and it goes out of play.
And it's going to be a goal kick. Eastern was called for offsides there. So great break there from Sterling. 50 seconds left, and they can bring all their offense up.
This 50 seconds or so, very big.
And multiple chances, multiple set pieces there for the Eastern Vikings, and Sterling's defense coming through. Nice job of keeping it knotted up at 0.
Simpson raises the right arm, boots it upfield out towards the midfield.
Let's go!
Off the head of Sims. Here's Dram. Dram sends it up, trying to use a burst of speed, takes a collision. No call. Dram's down on the field. K skies it up in the air, it goes out. But the main story right here, Montgomery Dram is down.
And for a guy calling penalties on contact all night, Montgomery Dram took some tough contact and is now down and looks to be in some pain.
I mean, I just don't understand the no call. I just don't understand the no call there. You've called contact all night, and then in the biggest part of the game, there's tons of contact, and you don't call it. And now Dram's injured.
So that will conclude regulation here in the Coaches Cup Championship game. We're going to step aside for a moment as overtime is pending here in the Coaches Cup Championship game. It is scoreless. We'll be back in just a few moments. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sterling Channel 19. We are going to overtime here in the Coaches Cup Championship game, as it is scoreless coming into it. And a dangerous way to end regulation. Montgomery Dram went down with apparent injury, but was able to walk off under her own power, thankfully, as we are ready to start overtime. It's golden goal, so whoever scores first will win the Coaches Cup Championship.
And this is will be a storybook ending to a phenomenal game between Eastern and Sterling. And this is where champions are made.
Yeah, and don't let the 0-0 score fool you. There's been tons of offense this game. It's just been such an exciting game to watch.
Tons of offense and great goalkeeping and defense from both sides.
Tons of offense, tons of defense, tons of controversy. We got it all here in the Coaches Cup Championship game.
Tons of go Knights, too.
Tons of go Knights. Super fans out here showing their support. Sterling alumni, Sterling teachers out here showing their support as well.
Come on, girls, let's go!
Jules Maesta, also one of the girls' soccer team's biggest fans.
She's grabbing some great pictures, I'm sure.
Yeah, she's a big fan of my announcing.
Uh-huh.
That's one way to put it.
So it'll be Simpson looking to boot this one away. Boots it on a line.
Let's go, White!
So Quinn able to clear this one away. Another collision. Nothing called as Trillo does take a fall. Crosser over toward the middle.
And I think the main reason why both teams have been frustrated with the officiating is it's been inconsistent. When there's contact, in certain cases, there's been a foul, and in certain cases, there hasn't been. And he hasn't been consistent enough.
Chance
either
here
team.
for Eastern. Here's the shot. Bobbled around, and Elise Simpson is there to alter the shot path.
Game-saving play there by Elise Simpson. Sims was on the right side of the net, and Simpson was able to block the left side of the net and really cut down Eastern's angle there. Great play.
Here's Jordan Baker with space. A nice find to Cesada. Back to Baker, and it just kind of led her a bit too far as Abani will come in and scoop it up.
Yeah, that was a good chance there for Lily Burton. An even better play by Elise Simpson, just not being afraid to be great and making a stop.
That one skied away. Burt trying to play with it against Revedas. Cleared away by Whalen. It'll go out of play. It'll be a Eastern throw-in. 6:46 to go in this first overtime period here in the Coaches Cup Championship game. And remember, if these two 10-minute overtime periods still result in a scoreless game, we will go to penalty kicks, which, Josh, you were saying Eastern had to do so in order to get to this spot.
Yeah, Sterling has not had to use penalty kicks at all this season. So it's important that Sterling tries to get the win in overtime instead of going to penalty kicks because they don't have as much experience in PKs.
Eastern with a chance. A nice move and a nice job by Wiley to clear it away. Eastern will just try and settle and remain with possession. Good pressure by Cesada. Sent up by Purcell, and it goes out of play. Another Eastern throw-in.
Yeah, and I think there could have been another foul call on Eastern there, a push in the back that led to them getting the ball, and I think I can see the frustration of both teams.
So that goes out of play. And we are about ready for another corner kick right by the Superfans. I imagine that Benfield is having a blast.
I'm sure it's a lot of fun taking a corner from over there as an 08.
Benfield ready. Wind picks up. Here's the boot. And I think the wind was not her best friend on that one.
Yeah.
And the Sterling Superfans will let her know about it.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're not getting in anyone's head at all tonight.
They've been loud since opening kick and have not let up since now here in this first period of overtime.
Let's go, East!
Huge shout out to the super fans, though. On a Saturday night to come out here and support these girls is really impressive to see. How many people showed up? Really good to see.
Come on, Age!
Here's Zazada. Sends it for Baker. Nice takeaway there by Benfield. Izzy Benfield. Sent up by Baker, trying to cross fields for Troilo.
Come on, Tone!
Troilo trying to get there. And it goes out.
So Sterling bench is kind of letting these refs know how they feel. I think it's been a little inconsistent, but I think it's been a little inconsistent for both teams tonight.
Eastern now with some space. Sterling's got to get back on defense. Here's Rourke with it. Crosser toward the middle, and a bit too much on it. And no one there for Eastern with the double tap. It'll go out of play. It'll be a throw-in for Jordan Baker. And a quick one to Zazada. Back to Baker, sends it up on a line, and it goes out of play. Throw in for Benfield, juggled around. Simpson gets ahead on it, juggled around by Sims. Here's a shot blocked by Quinn, double tap, that will cross fields and go out of play.
Yeah, and I think that's a good break there for Sterling. Now they get a chance to show their offense off this goal kick. And obviously Sterling's offense is so dynamic, anything can happen at any point. All you need is one really good opportunity.
And throughout this first period of overtime, it's been time of possession dominated by Eastern. But as you said, Strauss, all it takes is one run for the Lady Knights for them to be Coaches Cup final champs.
Yeah, but also a shout out to Eastern's defense. They've played a great game against a Sterling offense that scored 61 goals this season.
Hasn't started yet, buddy. 8 o'clock.
Throw in here for Sterling on the far side. That's a big gust of wind. Oh my.
Come on, girls.
Cleared away. Actually, no, it stays in play. At least for
No
now.
place like home.
That was
Wizard
sent
of Oz
downfield.
reference.
Yeah, Strauss, I gathered that. Thanks.
Come on, Chloe!
Eastern's trying to stay with it. Sends it upfield. Burt with some space. Cross that is blocked by Revatus and goes out of play.
The wind is really starting to pick up, and it's blowing outwards from where we are. So that's actually going to benefit Eastern here on the corner. They're not going to have to put as much on it to get in front of the net.
Wind's still blowing in.
Looks like some miscommunication between the Vikings on who's taking the corner.
Eastern ready. Booted away. And that wind and the wind carried that one. Wow.
You can tell you need to put a little bit less on it, and the wind really just took that one along with the turf. Obviously, it's a little bit faster moving on the turf.
And it just seems as though corner kicks have lost their advantage of being a set piece because of this wind. The ball is going to carry so much, it's just going to go out of play.
Less than a minute to go. Here in this first of most likely 2-minute periods here in overtime. Unless Sterling can get something going now. Here's Zazada, and goes out. It'll be a Sterling throw in 20 seconds. Sterling's got to hurry it up a little bit. It goes out. It'll be an Eastern throw in. Few seconds remain, and that will conclude the first of two 10-minute overtime periods. Still no decider here in this one. We'll go to the second overtime period here at the DeKalb Fields in Cherry Hill for the Coaches Cup Championship game. Still scoreless. We'll be back in a moment. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sterling Channel 19. We are here in the second overtime period of the Coaches Cup Championship game, still scoreless, as we are ready to get things going. Both teams still in their huddles, and it's been a fun one and a cold one here at the DeKalb Fields in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I'm Brian McLaren along with Jake Clark, Connor Strauss, and also Dan Leakin. Dan Leakin joined us in the first half.
This has been such a fun game to watch, and it really deserves two overtime periods just because of how exciting of a game it's been up to this point.
And Eastern dominated time of possession and had a couple corners in that first overtime period. Hopefully Sterling can turn it around and dominate time of possession here in this second overtime period and have a couple of runs like they did at the end of that second half.
One advantage that Sterling will get in this second overtime period is that they switch sides, so Eastern's goalie is going to have to deal with the super fans this whole second overtime.
So Eastern takes the field, and now Sterling's huddle will disperse. And both teams are ready for this second overtime period. If no goal is scored in this second overtime period, we'll go to penalty kicks. It's got to be decided at some point. And that will go out of play. Throw in for Eastern. Comes in from the far side. Gets by Baker. And Revedas will just clear it out.
And already less than 30 seconds in, Sterling is now back on the defensive end. Eastern is creating offensive pressure yet again.
Throw in from the far side. Cleared away once again. Another throw in here for the Vikings.
Yeah, and a great play there by Sterling to make sure that that's not a corner kick, but instead a throw in. It makes it a lot easier to defend, and it's not as strong of a set piece for Eastern to have.
Just an overall good job of just trying to clear it there and keeping it out of the middle of the box.
Yeah.
Throwing toward the middle, bounces around, and will go out of play. So now Eastern looking for a corner.
And a corner going against the wind now on that far side of the field. The wind has calmed down.
It'll be number 10, Aubrey Benfield. Taking the kick. Raises the right arm. Boots it. And couldn't do it against the wind as it goes behind the net.
Yeah, wind definitely played a factor on that one. It's really starting to pick up.
That's the second time that that's happened to Benfield. With a corner just going the wrong way and out of play.
Simpson on a line. Takes a bounce. And a whistle that will go against Eastern. And they'll be going back the other way. So it'll be Simpson with the free kick. A little over 2 minutes into the second overtime period. Simpson on a line. Goes off the head of an Eastern defender. Wiley plays it. Pass back to Simpson. Simpson sends it up, trying to look for somebody. And Abiani will play it on a bounce.
That's a good, not just one, but 2 balls sent into the offensive zone by Elise Simpson, who has had a tremendous game here today.
Goes off the back of an Eastern playmaker. That one cleared up by Simpson. Looking for Troilo downfield, trying to play it on a bounce. Juggled around, and that's going to go against Sterling.
Yeah, and one thing that's also going to be a factor is the cold, because it's going to be tougher on the set piece to get ahead on it because the ball's it's a lot more solid. It's harder and it's tougher to get ahead on it.
And a good sign for the Lady Knights. Montgomery Dram is back into the game for the Lady Knights.
Yeah, and that's huge. She's a huge part of that offense. So getting her back for the second overtime is huge.
Cleared toward the 18, goes off the head of Quinn. So here's Dram. Crosser toward the middle of the field, space for Troilo. Troilo trying to send it up for Baker, but cannot. Taken away by the Eastern defense. Now we'll go off the foot of Troilo and out of play.
A whistle. And it looks like Eastern was a little closer than the initial spot.
One sent up. Whalen gets a foot on it. Bounced around. Chance here for Rourke. And a nice job by Quinn to clear it away. Just takes it right away from Rourke. Big chance there for Eastern. Sent up field. And Quinn flying to the ball. Takes a fall, and it'll be a whistle.
And the official making a call there with some pretty clear contact, and now giving Sterling a set piece here to try and advance into the offensive zone, and maybe even inside the 18.
It'll be Simpson. Boots it on a line. Able to find Dram. Trying to send it up for Troilo, not enough on it. Goes off the foot of Dram. Now here's Kay. Kay finding Baker on the far side. She's got space to cross it. She crosses, goes off the head of Troilo, and a jumping grab by Abani.
Good offensive possession there for the Lady Knights. Nice cross from Jordan Baker on the far side. Trillo got ahead on it, but a nice stop by the keeper, Abanye.
Just over 4 minutes remaining here in the second overtime period. Remember, if no goal is scored within the next 4 minutes, we'll go to penalty kicks. Jules is telling me we're scoring. Let's hope Jules is right. Nice takeaway. Eastern able to get it back across toward the middle. Sterling trying to keep the pressure on. Here's a shot, and Sims is there.
Yeah, and just another great save by Maddie Sims, who's really been Sterling's best line of defense this game. She's been able to get to everything.
Trying to send it up. No one there for Sterling. Nice clear by Cesada. Now here's Kay with it. She lets it settle. Now fires it down the field for Troilo as well as Dram. Having cleared down the middle of the field. Here's Kay. Cesada sends it, and too much on that one as it goes out of play.
We've seen Sterling be much more aggressive here in this second overtime period. A couple more scoring opportunities and a couple nice plays from the defense and Maddie Sims.
That one goes out of play. 2.5 minutes to go here in the second overtime period.
Let's go, Cam!
Come on, let's go.
Finn, I want the army crawl if I have to.
Throwing from the far side.
Finn, you're not in the camera.
That one's booted away. Off the head of Chestnut. Booted upfield. Just trying to look for Dram. 1:50 to go. Out towards midfield, goes off the head of Wiley. Goes backwards, trying to find Troilo, then skied away. Here's Cesada. Cesada with space. A nice find. Sent across the middle and was trying to get Troilo there, but Eastern's defense able to get there. Now here's Wiley. Wiley looking for somebody open. A nice move made, trying to get it to Simpson. Simpson comes in on it.
Come on, save!
Sims sends it far down for Cesada, plays it on a bounce. And a whistle that will go, a very late whistle that will go against Sterling. And the Sterling bench not too happy about it.
Yeah, a whistle that was late, but I do think there was enough contact for a whistle, and will set up a late free kick here for Eastern.
About 40 seconds to go in this second overtime period. Chance here for the Vikings. As a shot blocked goes off the back of Sims. Another chance here for Rourke. Rourke trying to switch fields. Nice job by Kay to clear it.
Great job by Kay, and what's different about this scoreboard compared to most Sterling games we've commentated this season is as soon as that time runs out, the play stops. In games that we've commentated, you have to get it over midfield for the play to stop. So as soon as that hits 0, the play will stop.
5 seconds. Sends it downfield. Kay clears it out. And that's going to conclude the second overtime period here in the Coaches Cup Championship game. And we are going to penalty kicks. Oh my goodness. Oh, the drama. Oh, the drama indeed. We'll take a short break. Action will resume momentarily here in the Coaches Cup Championship game. We'll be back after this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to penalty kicks here in the Coaches Cup Championship game.
And it couldn't get any more dramatic and stressful than this, Brian. All comes down to penalty kicks. A phenomenal game between both sides, and it all comes down to PKs.
Yeah, it's been a great defensive game all day, and couldn't really ask for a better ending so far. PKs, it's the most intense part of soccer, and it's really fun to watch.
So the pressure is on for both Eastern and Sterling. Eastern playing to win this Coaches Cup Championship game. Sterling looking to do so as well, but to also stay undefeated on the year for the first time in their history, as well as win the Coaches Cup Championship game for the first time in their history. So a history-making night coming down to PKs.
Eastern will kick first.
They're sending in Aubrey Benfield, who has kicked most of the corners tonight. Maddie Sims in net has looked terrific tonight. Benfield ready. Trying to align the ball perfectly as Sims jumps around in net. Whistle blows. Here comes the shot. And it gets through. Hits the back of the net, goes through the hands of Sims, and Benfield is successful.
Yeah, Sims guessed the right side. It was just a very powerful shot from Benfield. And I think you're going to start to see goalies sort of drift towards the way that the wind is drifting, because it's going to be tough to kick into the wind. So it's either going to be in the middle or to that left side from where we are.
It'll be Ireland Kay to kick for the Lady Knights. Areba Abanyi in net tonight. Here's the kick, and the shot is good. Ireland Kay puts it in the back of the net. So now it will be number 22, Casey Eustace, for Eastern. Each team successful on their first round of penalty kicks. Eustace ready. She waits, and the shot is just over the hands of Madison Sims.
And not much Maddie Sims could have done there on that shot. Just up and over the hands. She guessed left and dove, and it just squeaked over the hands of Maddie Sims.
Yeah, and both times Sims has guessed the right side, but it's just been such powerful shots from Eastern that it's super tough to defend.
So now it's Jordan Baker for the Lady Knights. She's ready. Here's the shot, and it's through. Goes underneath the arms of Abanyi, and Baker comes through. Each team successful on their first two, and it will be Rourke, the speedster.
Yeah, nice job by Baker. Elected to go low there and worked out, snuck it under the arm of the keeper, Abanyi.
It's kind of smart to go low on these PKs just because it's on turf. The ball will travel faster, so it's a lot tougher to get the ball as a keeper if it's on turf while the ball is traveling faster on the ground.
So here's Rourke. Tied at 2 here in PKs. Here's the shot, and it goes through right into the back of the net. Sims couldn't do anything about it. And now here comes Erin Quinn for the Lady Knights.
Looked like Sims just guessed wrong there, went to the wrong side, and when she made that first step, Rourke elected to go the other way. And as a result, Eastern 3 for 3 on these PKs.
So here's Erin Quinn. Everybody here tonight on their feet. Here's Quinn's shot, and it's too much. Quinn got too much power on it. And Eastern will send in Remy Shirkus. This one is huge.
Sims put in a tough spot here.
Shirkus, ready. Here's the shot. And too much on that one. Oh my goodness. Both kicks with too much power. Unbelievable.
So Sterling able to catch a break there and can tie it up with this PK right here.
Here's Zasada. Excuse me, that's not Zasada, that's Wiley who puts it through. Top left corner for Shea Wiley.
Nice shot by Shea Wiley, evening it here between the Knights and the Vikings.
So now it's number 2, Lily Burt. Former Sterling Knight with one of the biggest kicks of her soccer career. Burt is ready. Here it comes. And Sims guessed wrong. And Burt letting the super fans know. And does some flipping action.
Yeah, and a great read there by Burt to she noticed that Sims moved early and she was able to kick it to the opposite side. Great job to kind of slow down on the penalty kick and take her time.
And it all comes down to Montgomery Dram.
Montgomery Dram, one of the biggest playmakers for the Lady Knights. Here's the shot, and it slips through. Eastern was ready to celebrate, but can't do so just yet.
So 4 apiece in that first round of penalty kicks.
So now, all back to Aubrey Benfield.
So now it is each team gets 1 kick. So it's no longer 5, it's 1 each. Just for those at home that.
Benfield, ready. Aligning the ball, spotting it accordingly. Still waiting. Benfield taking her time. She'll step back and is ready. Here it comes. And gets the back left corner.
Risky penalty there from Benfield, but it paid off.
And it all comes down to Ireland Kay. This is big. This shot will determine if the Lady Knights can stay undefeated. It will determine how long the Lady Knights stay in this Coach's Cup. Kay, ready. And she puts it through. Sterling stays alive.
Huge shot from Ireland Kay there off the left foot, went towards the left and beat the keeper Abanye.
Now goes back to Casey Eustace. Oh my goodness. What a game this has been. What an effort from both teams.
One for the ages.
Eustace, ready. Here's the shot. And swatted away! What a play by Sims.
And now it comes down to Jordan Baker.
What a story this could be. Jordan Baker could not play all of last year due to a torn ACL. Has come back and is ready for the shot of a lifetime. Jordan Baker. Here's the shot. And it's good! Jordan Baker has done it! The shot of her life, and the Lady Knights, for the first time in their history, has won the Coaches Cup Finals. Unbelievable! The superfans surround her as Eastern is stunned.
What a fairy tale ending to an amazing game. And as you said, Brian, Jordan Baker, who missed all of last year, comes out and wins it for the Lady Knights.
Unbelievable. The Lady Knights with history. The first undefeated season for the Lady Knights here in 2023. And Eastern will watch in disbelief.
One thing that you might have noticed, Eastern kind of poked the bear after Sterling did miss their penalty kick, kind of taunting the super fans, and the super fans giving it right back to Eastern right now.
Jordan Baker comes through and wins it for the Sterling Lady Knights. A history-defining moment in the legacy of Jordan Baker, and a history-defining moment for the legacy of this 2023 Lady Knights club. And we are going to have a post-game show that is also one for the ages. The Lady Knights win it in PKs. We'll be back right after this.
And now we are joined with Shay Wiley. Shay, phenomenal game. Obviously, got to mean a lot to you and the girls coming out and winning this one in penalty kicks.
It's just not real, honestly. I knew that we just had to keep up with them. They're a very hard physical team, and I think we matched the physicality level. Usually our second half is our best, and I think we came out in both halves. We fought to the end, and then we sealed the deal with Jordan's kick, which is amazing. I can't describe how it feels right now.
And you guys, you obviously talked about their physicality. They were very physical, and there were a lot of calls going against both sides from the officials. Talk about playing with a little bit of adversity against when some calls didn't go your way.
I think we just kind of had to accept it and go back. You know, there were a lot of things that we didn't agree on, but at the end of the day, the ref can't take it back, so we just had to, you know, just play our game, get back, defend, get it out, and then get it back on our feet.
And then you mentioned the second half is your guys' half. You guys really had a couple good runs towards the end of that second half, but just couldn't find the back of the net. Talk about trying to stick with it and obviously trying to force it to overtime and then PKs.
Well, in past games, like our second half, we'd come out with a quick goal that would motivate us, but we just had to keep it going. You know, it was tied the entire game, and we just had to, you know, push it to where we can take it to PKs and win it off of there, because we've been practicing on that, and if we earn the PKs and then we earn the win. I think we worked very hard for that.
And then correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time in a game this season you guys have gone to penalty kicks. Eastern had to go in penalty kicks to get to this game. Talk about how they might have had an advantage and you guys battled through and were able to come out with a victory.
I think they're used to now, because their last game in front of the entire crowd, they did do penalty kicks, and this was our first time this season. So it was a lot. It was a lot of pressure, but I knew. I talked to Jordan and Aaron. I said, we're senior captains. We need to step up. This win or loss is on us, whatever it is. So, you know, we just had to go up, you know, with confidence, and then just hit hopefully a corner and just, you know, keep it up and just win it for us.
And then last question for you, Shay. Talk about how the super fans made an impact here tonight in your guys' win.
I have no words. The super fans were amazing. I think we couldn't have done it without them. In the past games, they brought up the energy. You know, they supported us through thick and thin, and I'm so grateful that they all came. And, you know, coming in late, we were kind of stressed out about our warm-up time, but seeing the super fans, it just put a smile on all our faces, and it really, like, I'm going to talk about me personally, it really, like, brought me up, and instead of being nervous, I was like, okay, let's do it for them, let's do it for us, and let's win it.
Thank you, Shay. Phenomenal game tonight.
Go Knights!
Thanks, Jake.
And now here with the game-winning goal scorer, Jordan Baker. Jordan, you had an injury last season. Talk about how much this goal means to you to win a Coach's Cup, battling back from an injury.
This goal really meant a lot to me. I said this in an interview with Nico the other day. I feel like my injury, like after that happened, I started comparing myself to the way I was playing. So this was a real big confidence booster, and I think it's really going to help me for playoffs in a couple weeks.
And then offense struggled a little bit in the first half, but you guys kind of found your rhythm in that second half. Talk about some of the adjustments you made at halftime.
Honestly, we just looked to get our pressure up, look to get the ball up, pressure up, having our forwards pressure their defenders, looking to play more together, more simple. And I think that really, I think that worked for us. I mean, we didn't let up any goals, but we also got some offensive chances, but yeah.
And then you guys able to win the Coach's Cup final, the first time that's happened in Lady Knight history. What does that mean for you guys as a group?
It's amazing, honestly. I mean, we know this team was good. We've been building this the past couple years. This really means a lot. This shows what our potential actually is. It shows who we can play these bigger schools. We can play these more intense schools. I just really think it's a confidence booster.
Thank you, Jordan. Congratulations and a great job with the goal.
Yeah, thank you.
Now we're going to take Maddie Sims. Maddie, you had a ton of pressure on you in the first half and just made save after save and big moment after big moment. What was going through your head on a couple of those defensive possessions?
Honestly, nothing really. I just knew I had to stay confident, determined I could save anything, and be a brick wall and block the net.
And then you had a really tough task in penalty kicks. Talk about how difficult it is to stop some of those penalty kicks, and you have to guess on the fly.
Yeah, taking a PK, it's 50-50, especially when they're good at hiding what side. But you pick a side and you go all out and you save it.
And did the wind have any impact on some of the balls coming in from the Eastern Vikings?
Yeah, definitely in the second half. The wind kind of was going diagonal, and it kept curving in towards near post.
And then the huge save that gave Jordan the opportunity to ice the game. What was going through your head after you made that tremendous save?
I knew Jordan had my back, and I knew she was going to make it, and I knew we were going to win.
Thank you, Maddie. Phenomenal job in net. And now Aaron Quinn. Aaron, obviously a lot of pressure on you guys defensively in the first half. Talk about how much pressure was put on you guys and how the offense really helped you guys out in the second half.
Well, we knew coming in we were going to have a lot of pressure on us. We know they're a really good offensive team, but we just stuck it together. We played a really good game, and our offense did really good too, so it was just a tough battle.
And then obviously 2 full halves, 2 overtime periods, and penalty kicks. A long night here. Talk about how much an important stamina is for you girls as a team.
Yeah, definitely. In games like this where we're playing really good teams, very good conditioned teams, that we need to be just as conditioned them. And I think we did do really well. We all were on our game, and we did really good with that. So I don't really think that really affected us. We did good with that.
And undefeated in the regular season. What does this mean for you guys as a group?
Honestly, it means a lot. We've never done this before. Last year we only had we had 1 loss going into playoffs, but we have 0 this time. So there's going to be a big thing on our back, but I think it's going to be a hopefully good playoff run.
Thank you, Aaron. Phenomenal game.
Thank you.
And now joined by not 1, not 2, but 3 Lady Knights, Morgan Sims, Elise Simpson, and Cami Rivedas. You guys had a tough time on the defensive end in that first half, a lot of pressure, but you guys did a nice job. Talk a little bit about forcing the ball to the outside and letting the defense reset.
I don't really know if I should be the one to talk about this because I really struggled pretty much the whole game with passing the ball up the field. But it was definitely important to pass the ball up the sidelines rather than the middle because they had a lot of players and they're very strategic with their placement. So passing it to the middle was basically asking for a goal because they would be the first ones to hop onto it.
And talk about how communication with goalkeeper Maddie Sims was super vital in keeping the score knotted up at 0 throughout all of regulation and all of overtime.
They just like to kick the ball. So talking with Maddie for when the ball just came back to us, we just had to let her know it's coming to you, please get it. And I don't know.
And then Morgan, you did a nice job of trying to control the middle of the field. Give us a little bit of insight on how you were trying to move the ball up into the offensive zone.
I was trying to look for the outside mids because their outside mids were playing like a forward. Outside mid was wide open. It was a little rough with this wind, but we did a pretty decent job. So.
Good enough to get the win, and you guys are the first team in Sterling Lady Knight history to win the Coaches Cup. What does that mean for you guys as a group?
It's amazing.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Yeah. We worked really hard for this.
We did.
All right, well, thank you, ladies. Phenomenal game for each and every one of you.
Thank you. You got the whole squad, man.
Now I've got not 1, not 2, not 3, but not 4, but 5 Lady Knights. We're going to start with Montgomery Dram. Montgomery, you had a tough injury towards the end of regulation and battled back through it. Talk about fighting through adversity, and obviously you got ice on your elbow. How are you feeling after a tough injury?
It definitely was a little bit challenging going back because it was painful, but I knew that second, if I didn't go back in, I would either regret not going back in and not playing through it if we won, and I wanted to help, so I just fought through it. Team player.
And then going to Tony next, a couple questionable calls on the offensive end. Talk about fighting through adversity, and we obviously saw you keep calm in the moment. Talk about what was going through your head with some of those calls.
Honestly, the refs were calling things that I don't think they should have been calling. They were calling fouls on me, and I was not fouling them. They were just flopping. But, I couldn't, yell at the ref because then I didn't want to risk getting carded or nothing. So I just tried to say something politely and then move on with it.
And then Ireland and Adriana, you guys did a nice job of controlling the middle of the field and working the ball up into the offensive zone to some of the strikers. Talk about how you guys are able to see the entire field.
For us, it's nice to be in the midfield because it does kind of give you a range of seeing the field in different aspects. I think just for us, we know that they're just going to kick it and play back, and it was hard because that's hard to deal with. It's really hard to deal with, but we just want to settle the ball down and just find feet and just try to get as many opportunities as we can.
And then Chloe, there was a ton of pressure on you guys defensively. The ball was down there for almost the entire first half. Talk about how you guys battled and kept it out of the back of the net.
Yeah, they're a tough group of girls. They're really good forwards, but we as defense are really good at just sticking our bodies in there. We got Morgan who heads the ball out, finds it to her head 24/7. So we're just really good at battling in there. We play through no matter what.
And then you guys are the first team in Lady Knight history to go undefeated through a regular season and win a Coaches Cup final. What does that mean for you guys as a group?
That we are just goated.
I think just looking in like all the teams in Jersey, for us, we're a really small school, and other teams get 90 players to come out and try out for their team, and we literally have a group of 35 girls that we all have heart and
quantity.
Yeah, quality over quantity, 100%.
Constantly proving people wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, NC.com said we're gonna lose 2-0.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Sorry.
Well, phenomenal game. Congratulations on the win. And I'm going to send it back over to the guys in the booth now.
Get a picture of you guys in here with Jake real quick.
Oh, we're going to get a picture.
There we go. Get in there. Everybody in. Everybody in. All right. Good job, ladies.
Thank you, guys.
Shul's our expert photographer. And what a night for the Lady Knights. History-defining moment for the Lady Knights. Jordan Baker with the game winner in penalty kicks gives Sterling their first undefeated season in franchise history as a Lady Knights soccer program. What a Coaches Cup that we have here at Deco Fields in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Wait, but we have one more.
Wait a second. Hold up, let's rewind.
Let's rewind.
We're getting Coach K in here, baby.
Special edition.
Bum, 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 bum.
Uno momento.
Uno momento, por favor.
I'm going to send it back over to Jake, who
My
has
king.
a special interview with Coach K.
How are you, Coach? Good. Coach, obviously got to be feeling great after winning that one in penalty kicks. Talk about how the girls had to fight through adversity. It was a really long game. Regulation ended, both double overtime periods ended, and you went into penalty kicks. Talk about how stamina really played into this win.
Yeah, I agree. It was big, and we've I think this whole tournament for us was like that. Like, playing late into games. Every goal, Cherokee, Kingsway, Ocean City, Eastern. It was a battle to the end, and I think that was something that we learned a little bit about what Olympic Conference soccer plays like, where it's a daily battle, and that was good for us to show, like, hey, we can hang with that level of soccer. And I just think, they have heart. We have a lot of heart, and we talked about it from the beginning. I mean, we're this is my fourth year. These are the girls I started with as freshmen. This group of seniors, this group of juniors, like, when these younger kids are learning from them, they're relentless. They play strong. So it's big.
And then a very physical game from the start between both teams and a lot of foul calls tonight. Obviously, both sides were frustrated. Talk a little bit about how you guys had to keep cool in the moment.
Yeah, I think that was big. I mean, I think we knew we had to play strong. We know that they're fast, they're physical, they're aggressive. They play very direct soccer. We knew that we had to kind of match a little bit of that as much as we could. I think it's impossible to match that, but we battled. And I think with them it was just understand that it's going to be a tough game. Big games are strong games, and mentally we had to stay focused, stay level-headed, see if we could just press through and keep this thing. As that game went on, I mean, I told them it's a lot of it is about sometimes you are playing for overtime, sometimes you are playing for penalty kicks, and of course we're playing to win. We had a great opportunity with Tony. The keeper made a phenomenal save on that play. But even things like that, just opportunistic moments. Like they could have 10 chances to R1. If R1 goes in and their 10 don't, then we win that game, and that's kind of what soccer's about sometimes.
And the offense was a little slow to start. Talk about how important the defense was in keeping that game going into halftime 0-0.
Yeah, defense was great, and we said that yesterday. I had a talk with them at the end of practice. Like, we brought, our starters and our bench players in, and just said, like, it's going to take a complete effort from everybody. We're going to have to be strong at, some of the things maybe we're not so strong at sometimes, like getting in the air, doing things which they were great at. Yeah, and it was good, and we knew that. We knew we had to kind of build that wall back there and stay strong. Maddie played great in goal, came up big. The defense, everybody on that defense was huge tonight. I mean, we gave Cammie her first start out there, having to play great forward in Lily Bird, who's a strong player, one of the better forwards out there, and Cam did good. Cam neutralized her, and just a great game overall.
And when it came time for penalty kicks, what went through your mind in how to set the order in which the girls had went?
It's funny, we said that we just started working on them, okay? And this is the time of year we start getting ready for playoffs, penalty kicks, and we knew who our five were. And I asked them, they said yes, and I said, pick your order. You guys figure it out. And to me, again, maybe state final, hey, we might be a little more strategic with picking an order. I don't know if I would then either, but I think for this opportunity, this moment, the preparation for what's coming up next for us in this postseason, I think it was good for them to sit down as a group of 5 and say, hey, how do we want to attack it? And they did that, and it was great, and even Erin, first time up there, and I would have put her up number 1 second round if I had to, because I know she'd hit it.
And then a couple questions for you, Coach. Jordan Baker was the one that iced the game for you. Came back from an injury last year. Now in your senior year, wins the Coaches Cup final for you. Talk about how much she means to you and this program.
Amazing. I mean, it's a two-way street with her. As a player, as a student, as a kid in the neighborhood I knew growing up. Like she's a great kid, great family. I'm proud for her. She's worked her butt off to get back to where she was. The goals probably haven't come as easily as she would have liked the goals to come this year in terms of throughout the season, but this is the one. And there's nobody I'd rather have up there taking that than a senior who was in her situation that I knew 100%. Once Maddie made that save, like I know it. It was just a matter of, don't pull a muscle sprinting to the line to celebrate. You know what I mean? But yeah, Jordan, it's deserving, and she's a huge leader on our team.
And then last question for you, Coach. You guys are the first team in Lady Knight history, in school history, to finish undefeated and then win a Coaches Cup final. What does that mean for you as a group to go down in history?
It's great. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's their hard work. It's their dedication to what we as a coaching staff were trying to sell to them, and they're a great group. I mean, they deal with a lot. They deal with my crazy stuff sometimes, and they just focus. They find a way to sit down, look at each other, and just figure out how to get the job done. Awesome for the school. I think awesome for the program. I love it. And to be back home to do it with where my alma mater was is like it's a dream come true. So, we joke now at the beginning of it's a 6-game season now. So to go 6-0 is a good spot. So we're hoping to go 1-0 starting next week.
Well, congratulations on the win, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, man. I love it. Thank you, guys.
And now we're going to send it back over to the guys in the booth.
Thank you, Jake. And what a win. What a win for the Lady Knights. History has happened here in the Coaches Cup tournament. First undefeated regular season for the Lady Knights in their history, and the first Coaches Cup win in their franchise history as well. But that will do it. Jordan Baker comes through, and many other Lady Knights come through here in the victory. Thank you to everyone coming out here today. What a night it has been. I'm Brian McLernan.
We're scared of the cheese balls.
I'm Brian McLernan, joined by Dan Leakin, Connor Strauss, and of course Jake Clark. That will do it here on Channel 19. I'm Brian McLernan. Hi, Nico. And as always,
Go Knights!